It turns out the best solution to climate crisis. Do you want to know what it is? Good, I was hoping you say that. All too often, climate crisis is illustrated with images of polar bears, wildfires, while the headlines talk about government negotiation, which makes it all feel so far removed from us. But something we're not being told, and it's 65% of all greenhouse gas emissions are generated direct result of household consumption. So that's you, and that's me. What it means is enormous power to solve the climate crisis. I want the simplest and most effective which we can do is to do something that humans been doing thousands of years in a modern life but largely forgotten. Put simply, it's to share more and waste less. Let's take food for example. Globally, one third of all food reproduced year gets wasted. And the environmental impact of this is nothing short of devastating. If it was a country, food waste would be the third country about greenhouse gas consumption. It also includes packaging and manufacturing and distribution too. And third which is over 25 times more deadly than dioxide. The environmental impact of the food waste is so devastating, the projector rolled down good piece of 700 leading recently identified reducing food waste as the number one most powerful to solve the
coming above electric cars, above solar power, and above a plant-based diet. To put all of this into context
a little bit.
the carbon emissions
emission is just 1 kilogram of food waste. Let's imagine your food waste, for example.
From landfilling, how many plastic bottles do you think? 1, 50, 100?
How many plastic bottles it makes, do you think? 25,000 plastic bottles. So where does all this food waste take place? Surprisingly enough, it's not at the retail store level. In a country such as UK, which is typically much of the Western world, half of all food waste take in the home. Which means that we, each and every one of us, we are half in this enormous problem. In the one hand, it's pretty depressing, but if you flip it on its head, it can be incredibly exciting too. Because it means we don't have to wait for governments or businesses, we can be half the solution. I grew up in a farm where food waste is pretty much a crime, and where sharing was
a glut of marrows to hand-me-down clothes from a pony to a tractor.
But in modern life, it's largely forgotten how to share. That's because we all live in our little boxes instead of one another beside one another. We no longer connected to our local community until we no longer anyone to share with. That's why, along with the co-founder,
Olio is an app that connects people with their local communities.
We create the service of connecting people. Let's imagine you are going away for a weekend and
or perhaps your toddler's
for a party, perhaps your
is their most hated food today. I think you've been there.
Your toddler's most favorite food is their most hated food today. People living nearby getting an alert, they can browse the listings, request for what they want, and pop around.
Now you might be thinking,
You might be thinking, who on
there
Earth
is
want my
no
spare food,
shortage of
but there's no
demand.
shortage of
The
demand.
average listing is
The average
requested
listing
in
is
less than
requested
25
in less
minutes.
than 25 minutes.
And it's in response to this
In
demand
response to
that we
that
now
demand, we
also
now
work with
also
businesses
work
such as
with businesses
supermarkets,
such as
restaurants,
supermarkets,
cafes, and
restaurants,
canteens.
cafes, and canteens.
This is powered by
This is powered by
60,000 trained
60,000
volunteers who are members of our
volunteers who are
community,
members
who are
of
in
our
their allotted
community.
time and day. They pop out of their
They
house
pop out of
and they
their
cross the
house and they
street.
across the
They go
street.
to the
They
store and
go
they
to the
collect
store and
all
they
of the
collect
unsold
all of the
food.
unsold food.
They take it
They
home,
take it home.
they add it to the
They
app.
add it to the
Within
app.
minutes, people
Within,
living nearby are requesting it, and minutes later,
within a
they're
minute,
popping round and picking it up.
people
Taking that food
requested
from
it,
having been
and
considered
a minute later,
waste
people
in the store
pick it up.
to instead, on average, in just 2 hours, being fully redistributed into
Instead of
multiple homes in
waste
the local
them
community.
at shops,
This now
within a
enables
couple
businesses
hours,
to have zero food waste
can
locations.
be
And
useful
our
for
aim is
community.
that any business, anywhere in the world, can come onto the platform.
Any business
and
anywhere in the
organise
world
for
can
their
come up
food to be redistributed
to
in the local
platform
community in minutes.
and their food
so that
will
perfectly good food is given away, not thrown away. We launched in North
be
London
used in
2015.
app and their food
And
would
since
not
then,
be
over 6
waste.
million people from all around the world have joined us.
6
And
million
together,
people
they have shared
all around the world
66 million portions of food. This has had an environmental impact
is a part
equivalent
of
to
this
taking 200
app,
million
and
car miles off the
66
road,
million
and has also saved over 10
food
billion litres of water.
shared,
Because food
and also
production is
10 billion
incredibly water intensive.
liters of
But
water
what's
is
most
saved.
exciting is we are
What
doing
most
a tiny fraction
exciting
of
is
our
we
full
doing tiny
potential.
function of
Just
our
imagine
tiny
the impact
potential.
we can have as we
Imagine the
get
impact we
millions and
can
millions more
get
people sharing.
as we
Now,
have
whilst the
millions of
environmental
millions
impact
more
of
people
food
are
sharing
sharing.
might seem quite obvious, what's less
What's
obvious,
less
but
obvious
no less
but no
powerful,
less powerful is the social
impact
impact of sharing.
Not only does it feel
Not only does it
amazing
feel
to give away
amazing to
something
give
you
away
don't
something
want
you
to
don't
someone
want
who
to
would like
someone
it,
who would like it,
sharing
also creates connection and strengthens the community. Over 40% of our users tell that
and 66%
they made a
improved their well-being.
friends
And
being
every
the app,
day
and
we hear
66%
countless
say they
heartwarming
improved their
stories,
well-being.
in particular during COVID and the cost of living crisis, which reinforces the
It
power
reinforces the
that doing
power
something so
that doing
simple
something
as
so
sharing your
simple
spare
as sharing
can
news
have.
spill.
The power of
Huh?
sharing
Power
can
of
be applied to so
sharing
much
can
more
be applied
than just solving our food waste
so
problem
much
today.
more than
It can also
food
help
waste
solve
problem.
our
It can also
overconsumption problem more broadly,
solve our
which is best
overconsumption
exemplified by
problem.
Earth Overshoot Day. Earth Overshoot Day is the day in the year in which humanity has used all the resources that the Earth can replenish in a year. Back in 1971,
Earth Overshoot Day was the 20th of December. What this means is that we used in a year what the Earth can replenish in a year. We were living in equilibrium with the planet. Fast forward to today, 2022. Earth Overshoot Day was the 28th of July. What this means is that every single thing that every single one of us, almost 8 billion people, are consuming after the 28th of July is net depletive to the planet. Another way of looking at it is that collectively right now we are living as if we have 1.7 billion planet, which we clearly don't. It appears that we are shopping ourselves to distinction, and this has to stop. When most people think about playing their part in living more sustainably, the first thing that tends to come into mind is recycling. But given our relentless resource consumption, we clearly cannot recycle our way out of this mess. What will be needed instead is a brand new model of consumption. One where all of our stuff going from useless to useful. From who would want this to I would love that. From getting to giving. From buying to borrowing. From despair to hope. Sharing instead of shopping needs to become the default.
That's why we've extended
That's
beyond just
why we
food sharing,
extend
and our community can now
beyond
also
feature,
give
but
away
community
unwanted
also
household items,
give
such as toiletries,
give out
cleaning products, kitchen
unwanted
appliances, books, clothes, and toys.
things.
And they can also lend
You
and
can
borrow
also
things
lend and
instead of
borrow
buying
things
brand new
instead
as
of
well.
buying brand new
Because
as well.
let's face it,
Because let's
we don't
face it,
all
we
need
don't
our
all
own
need our
mattress
own
or cat carrier or
cat
piston
carrier
or even,
or
dare I say,
skateboard
popcorn maker.
or even dare I say popcorn maker.
It gives me enormous hope
It gives me
to
enormous
know that we
hope
are
to know
part
that we
of
are
a
part of a
broader
broader
global
global movement
movement
of
of real
real sharing
sharing
economic
companies
companies
that
with
are
a
springing
spring
up
of
all
all over
over
the
the
world,
world,
connecting
connecting communities
communities
to
to
share
share
everything
everything from
from
clothing to
cars.
cars,
And
and
we're
we're
all
all
united
united
by
with
the
the
simple
simple
belief
belief
that
that
the
the
status
status
quo
quo
has
has
to
to
change.
change.
And with
And
businesses
with
and governments
businesses
doing
and
so
governance
criminally little to solve the climate crisis,
little
we
so
have
little
set
to
ourselves an
solve
enormous
climate
ambition. We
crisis.
want 1 billion
We
people
want
to be
billion
consuming
people to
bioradio by
consuming
2030.
by
Because,
2020.
contrary to
Because
popular narrative, what we do as
what we do as
individuals does
individual does
count.
count.
After all,
After
it
all,
was
it
billions of
was
small
billions
actions
of
that
small
caused the
actions
climate
that
crisis in the
caused
first
the
place.
climate action in
And
the
so
first place,
surely,
and
by
so
the same
surely,
logic,
in same
billions of
logic,
small
billions
actions
of
can
small
help get us out
actions
of it.
can
Thank you.
help us get out of this mess. Thank you.
So it turns out there's a super simple solution to the climate crisis.
Görünen o ki iklim krizini önlemenin oldukça kolay bir yöntemi var. Ne olduğunu öğrenmek ister misiniz? Çok iyi. Ben de bu cevabı vermenizi umuyordum. İklim krizi genelde bize kutup ayılarının fotoğraflarıyla gösterilir veya hükümetlerin adım atmasıyla gerektiğine alakalı karşımıza çıkar. Ama bizim de sanki yapabilecek bir şeyimiz yokmuş gibi görünür. Ama aslında yüz, yüz, atmosfer gazı değil. Ah, gaz.
What this means is we have enormous power to solve the climate crisis, and one of the simplest and most, which makes it all feel so far removed from us. But there's something we're not being told, and it's that 65% of all greenhouse gas emissions
Sera gazı.
So it turns out there's a super simple solution to the climate crisis.
İklim değişikliğinin oldukça kolay bir yöntemi olduğu ortaya çıktı. Ne olduğunu duymak ister misiniz? Bilmek ister misiniz? Evet, ben de bu cevabı vermenizi umuyordum. İklim krizi genelde bizlere kutup ayılarının resimleriyle gösterilir ve başlıklarda genelde hükümetlerin adım atması gerektiğiyle alakalıdır. Ve bu sebepten dolayı genelde atılması gereken adımlar bizden uzaklaştırılır. Ama aslında sera gazlarının %65'i evlerimizdeki tüketimlerimizden kaynaklanır. Aslında yani bu siz ve ben olduğumuz anlamına geliyor. Aslında iklim krizini çözmenin
we've largely forgotten.
En kolay yollarından bir tanesi, insanların binlerce yıldır zaten yaptığı ancak
And waste less.
bizim günümüzde
Let's take food for example.
yapmayı unuttuğumuz bir şey. Az kullanmak, paylaşmak ve israf etmemek. Her yıl trilyonlarca dolar seviyesinde, trilyonlarca Amerikan doları seviyesinde israf yapılıyor. Eğer yemek israfı, gıda israfı bir ülke olsaydı, Çin ve Amerika'nın ardından 3. ülke olurdu.
Soil that has been degraded, species that have been driven to extinction. It also includes all the packaging and manufacturing, refrigeration and distribution too. And when a third of that food gets thrown away,
Bu
most of it ends up in
yemeklerin
landfill,
3'te
where it creates
biri
methane, which is over 25 times more deadly
israf
than carbon
edildiği
dioxide.
zaman
The environmental impact of food waste is so
daha
devastating
ölümcül
that Project
karbon
Wardown, which is a collaborative piece of work by
dioksit
several
gazlarına
hundred of the
sebep
world's
oluyor.
leading climate change scientists, recently identified reducing food waste as the #1 most powerful lever that humanity has to solve the climate crisis.
Ortaya çıktı ki
Coming above electric
gıda
cars,
israfını azaltmak,
above solar power,
iklim
above
değişikliğini
plant-based diet.
çözmenin
To put all of this into a context,
bir numaralı
close to home,
adımlarından bir tanesi.
carbon emissions from just 1 kilogram of food waste. Let's imagine your food waste caddy, for example.
1 kilogramlık
Carbon emissions from landfilling how many
gıda
plastics
israfının
do you think?
kaç tane plastik şişeye eş karbondioksit saldığını düşünüyorsunuz? Cevap 25.000 dolar plastik şişe. Peki bütün bu gıda israfı nereden kaynaklanıyor? Tabii ki de bunların büyük bir çoğunluğu marketlerden kaynaklanmıyor. Yarısı Amerika'dan, yarısı evlerimizden kaynaklanıyor. Aslında bu demek oluyor ki yarısı bizim suçumuz. Aslında bu çok kötü gibi görünüyor ama eğer buna tam tersi açıdan bakarsak, hükümetleri ve şirketleri beklemeden sorunun yarısını çözebiliriz bizim hırsımızı. Herhangi kullanmadığımız bir şeyi paylaşarak bunu çözebiliriz ama günümüzde biz bunları unuttuk. Çünkü insanlar birbirlerinin üstüne ve yanlarına kutulara yerleştirilmişler ve artık birbirimizle iletişim kurmuyoruz. Dolayısıyla paylaşacak herhangi bir kişimiz de yok. Dolayısıyla bizde fazlalık olan yemekleri atmak yerine paylaşabileceğimiz bir topluluk kurduk. Diyelim ki dün çocuklarınızın en sevdiği yemekleri olan yemekler bugün çocuklarınızın en nefret ettiği yemeklere dönüşmüş. Size uygulamaya yemeğinizi ekliyorsunuz. Uygulamadaki diğer insanlar yemeğinize geliyorlar ve yemeklerinizi almaya geliyorlar. Düşünebilirsiniz, benim fazlalık yemeğimi kim isteyecek diye düşünebilirsiniz ama inanın bana çok da bir eksiklik göremezsiniz bu alımlarda. Ortalama olarak 15 dakikadan kısa sürüyor. Toplumumuzdaki bazı kişiler günlük belli sürelerini, belli saatlerini mağazalara, dükkanlara gidip fazlalık israf olacak olan yemekleri alıp uygulamaya yükleyip ardından insanların gelip almasını sağlıyorlar. Ve bu yemeklerin mağazalarda israfa dönüşmesindense birçok eve sağlam ulaşmasını sağlıyorlar.
And our aim is that any business
Bizim
anywhere in the world can come onto the platform
amacımız
and
dünyanın
organize
her
their
yerindeki herhangi bir
activities
şirketin
the local community
uygulamamıza
needs.
gelip
So that perfect
yerel
food is given away, not thrown away.
topluluklara israf olacak olan
We launched
yemekleri
in North
geri
London
kazandırması.
in 2015. And since then, over 6 million people
2015
from all around the
yılında
world have joined us.
Londra'da
And together,
başladık
they have
bu
shared
çalışmaya ve
66 million
6 milyon
portions.
insan topluluğumuza katıldı ve 66 milyon yemek gıda israfını önledik ve bu 200 milyon mil karayolu uzunluğunda aynı zamanda 10 milyar litre su israfını da önledik. Ve bu sadece bizim küçük potansiyelimizin küçük bir kısmı ve daha milyonlar ve milyonlarca daha fazla insanın daha çok işine yaramayan şeyleri daha çok paylaştığını düşünün. İstemediğiniz bir şeyi isteyecek biriyle paylaşmanın ne kadar iyi bir şey olduğunu düşünebilir misiniz? Aynı zamanda paylaşmak toplulukları güçlendiren bir şey ve kullanıcılarımızın %33'ü uygulamadan arkadaş edindiğini söylüyor. %66'sı ise hayatlarını iyileştirdiğini söylüyor.
The power of sharing can be applied to so much more than just solving our food waste problem though.
Paylaşarak sadece gıda israfı sorunumuzu değil, aynı zamanda aşırı tüketim sorunumuzu da çözebiliriz.
Back in 1971, Earth Overshoot Day was the 25th of December.
1971'de yıllık tüketim günü 20 Aralık'tı. Bugüne geldiğimizde 2022 yılında 28 Haziran yıllık tüketim gününe denk geliyor. Bu yıllık tüketim günü bütün dünyanın bir yıllık ihtiyacını kullandığı gün anlamına geliyor. Biz şu anda sanki 1.75 gezegenimiz varmış gibi yaşıyoruz ki öyle bir şey yok. Ve bu çok fazla ve bunun durdurulması lazım. Birçok insan kendine düşen sorumluluğu yerine getirmeyi istediği zaman aklına gelen ilk şey geri dönüşüm yapmak, ama bu kadar büyük bir sıkıntıyı geri dönüşüm yapamayız. Bize daha güzel bir çözüm yöntemi lazım. Bizim istemediğimiz eşyalarımız işe yaramaz şeylerden işe yarar şeylere dönebilir. Tek yapmamız gereken bunu kim ister ki demektense ben isterim diyecek kişileri bulmak. Satın almaktansa paylaşmak yeni normal olmalı. Bu yüzden yani paylaşmanın gıda israfını önlemekten daha fazlası olduğunu söylerken bundan bahsediyordum. Evinizdeki herhangi bir şeyi değiştirebilirsiniz. Yani dürüst konuşalım. Hiçbirimizin kendi kedi kafesimize ihtiyacımız yok. Gerçekten büyük bir paylaşım topluluğunun parçası olmak bana ümit veriyor ve bu topluluktaki herkes tek bir düşünceyle bir aradalar. Ve hükümetlerle şirketler iklim krizini çözmek için neredeyse hiçbir şey yapmazken biz elimizden geleni yapmaya çalışıyoruz. Popüler bir inanışa göre kişiler olarak bizim yaptığımız her şey önemlidir. Çünkü dürüst konuşmak gerekirse iklim değişikliğine sebep olan şey milyarlarca atılmış milyarlarca yanlış e, atılmış milyarlarca yanlış adımdan dolayı iklim değişikliği gerçekleşti ve iklim gerçekliğini çözmenin yollarından bir diğeri ise atılacak milyarlarca başka küçük adım. Teşekkürler.